Hey there, listeners. It's Paul again, your host from Stories Philippines podcast. Get ready to dive into another chilling tale. This one is called The Unseen Guest. Back in 2013, when selfie filters were all the rage, we loved playing around with an app called Camera 360. It had this fun filter that made your lips look irresistibly attractive, which we fondly called the Juicy Lips filter. I was over at my boyfriend's house in Laguna, often because I wanted to bond with his family. In the house lived his siblings, nieces, nephews, and of course, his parents. Today, we're like one big happy family, especially since we've had our own children. One night, it was just me, my boyfriend's younger sister, Cora, and their flamboyant nephew, Jomar. We were having a blast taking selfies until the iPod we were using ran out of battery. The next morning, as I was going through the photos, a housemate asked who the extra kid in our groupie was. I hadn't noticed it before, but sure enough, there was an additional face in our photos. Standing next to Jomar was another child that looked eerily similar to him. But upon closer inspection, it was clear that this child was different from us. Our Juicy Lips filter had a signature orange tint it added to our lips, but this child's lips remained their original color. Even their skin tone was different from ours. Everyone in the house was taken aback because we were sure it was just the three of us taking selfies that night. And at that time, Jomar was the only nephew in the house. My boyfriend did have two other nephews who were about the same age as this unknown child, but they looked nothing like him. To this day, we still don't know who that child was. Every time I look at this photo, I get goosebumps all over. And I promise you, this photo wasn't edited at all, because photo editing wasn't a big thing back then. Well, listeners, that's where our spooky tale ends for today. There have been more strange occurrences since I moved into this house, but this one takes the cake. I'll save those other creepy experiences for another episode. Before we end, here's a little takeaway from our story. Always remember, even when you think you're alone, you might not be. So, keep an eye out for those unseen guests in your photos. Until next time, good night and sweet dreams.